Social media can really make homesteading look quaint and cozy and all beautiful and everything. And sometimes it is that, but sometimes it's not. Homesteading can even get to the place where you want to quit. We got to that place. We almost quit homesteading, but we didn't. And in this video today, we're going to tell you kind of some things that happened and tell you why we didn't quit and what you can do to make so that you don't get to that place if you have a homestead of your own. And as we go along today, I'm gonna be trying something new on our homestead that I'm really excited about, but I'm also a little worried about how it's gonna turn out. Michelle also has a big project to do today. I actually started on my project last night and we'll check on it in a little bit, but first, let's get the day started.
One of my favorite things about homesteading is how it gets us all outside first thing. Now that our kids are older, they all pitch in with the morning chores. Our homestead is very manageable at this point because we're all doing our small share of the work. But it hasn't always been this way. There was a point in our lives when our kids were still young and I had health issues and Cody had a full-time job away from home where the homestead felt like a huge, never-ending task. Because we believed so deeply in the benefits of this lifestyle, we just powered through. And not only did we power through, but we continued to take on more and more homestead-related projects even though we were already maxed out and exhausted. We finally came to a point where we were forced to make some hard decisions. We either had to scale back or quit completely. We couldn't go on the way that we were. We chose to scale way back. We sold our egg business that we were hoping to pass down to our son someday. We quit growing food for other people and we quit farmer's market. Cody hunkered down and focused on his full-time job, and I majorly downsized the garden to only the barest necessities and just focused on my kids. The relief was intense. It was like a huge burden just rolled off of our shoulders, and at the time, we thought we were giving up those homestead dreams and goals for good, but as we healed and became stronger and more resilient humans, homestead opportunities started opening to us again. But instead of taking all the opportunities on at once, we chose wisely. We came to a point where we felt like we had things under control, and then only then did we add another thing to our to-do list. One of the ways that we managed our stress levels was to focus on resting in the winter months. We got rid of our greenhouse that we'd planned to use for winter salad greens, and I made sure to have the garden completely finished by the time I needed to start homeschooling. I've learned that when I start feeling depressed and overwhelmed in the wintertime, it's often because I'm trying to do too much. Animals hibernate in the winter months, the trees drop their leaves and go dormant, plants don't actively grow. It's only natural that humans need more rest in the wintertime as well, especially in areas of the world where the days are shorter and the nights are longer. What I found helps me the most is to turn off all the overhead lights when the sun goes down. I turn on lamps with warm light bulbs. We finish up the evening dishes, sit in the living room and read and play games or do puzzles and just do something chill. But in the summertime, when the sun doesn't go down until 8 o'clock in the evening, we spend way more time working outside and being active. It's just natural. As the kids get older and don't require as much direct attention from us, we're slowly taking on more and more homestead projects. So rest is going to look different for each individual family. Once you've hit burnout once, your threshold for stress in that area is going to be substantially lower. In my opinion, if you want homesteading to be sustainable for the long haul, your best bet is to take care of yourself and do only the things that you actually have the capacity for. And then as you gain confidence, then and only then should you continue adding to your workload. I'm going to quickly get my project started here. This is going to take most of the day, not a whole lot of hands-on time, but it's still going to take quite a while. So I need to get this started even before I do homeschool this morning. This is suet. It looks a bit disturbing possibly. This is basically just fat from around the kidneys of the beef cows that we raise here on our homestead. And I am going to render this today nice and slow in my crock pot. And then I'm going to be using this for cooking and also for soap making. This is the time of year where I have the time. Things are slow enough that I can make soap. It's really fun to experiment. One of the fastest ways to render down beef suet, at least that I have found in my experience, is to grind this stuff with a meat grinder. But our butcher said that they are not willing to do that for us. I guess it gunks up their grinder or something. And we did not want to do it by hand. It's very hard work with a hand crank grinder like we have. This is stupid. So what I do is I just cut this up into smallish pieces and let it melt for an hour or so. And then I go in with a stick blender and I just like mash it into like a gravy consistency. I have like the gag reflex going on right now, trying to say it. I don't know why, but rendering tallow makes me gag almost every time. I have found that once I blend this with the stick blender, it just renders so fast. It's gonna take a really long time to render if you just try to render it like this. You really wanna break it down into very small pieces. I'm gonna be using the wet method today to render my tallow. This is just my preferred way. I've done it both ways, and I can really get my tallow more white and odorless if I do it with the saltwater method. So basically all that I do is I take about 2 tablespoons of salt for a quart of water, and I pour it over my tallow. This is gonna depend on how much tallow you're rendering. I don't have very much today, so I'm just gonna do a quart of water. There's definitely lots of recipes online for this, so just go ahead, find a recipe, follow it. I highly recommend Bumblebee Apothecary. She is the tallow queen, and I have learned so much from her. Tallow is very trendy right now. Everybody is talking about tallow. Very, very popular in the homesteading space, in the health space as a whole. But then you also have your side where people are very, very against it. They're like, ew, it's rubbing beef all over your face. It's very controversial as well in the skincare space. I have found I have struggled with acne a lot in my lifetime, and tallow was one of the things that I tried for my acne on my face, and it did not work for me. There's definitely people who have great success stories with tallow on their face for acne. I was not one of those. I bought a tallow that was like a very good quality. It was 50 bucks for a small container of it. I just wanted to know that I was doing it right, that I wasn't like doing something wrong with my homemade tallow. I tried it, I broke out so bad that I actually sent a picture of my face to the company and they refunded me within like an hour. So tallow does not work for everybody. I do use it for skincare. I just use it on like hands, arms, and legs. It works really well for cracked, dry skin. One thing that I have found is that tallow works better if you put it over top of something else that's moisturizing. So like a little bit of aloe vera gel or a little bit of clean lotion or something, or even just when you get out of a hot shower, just put it on right away while your body is still a little bit wet. The way I have heard it explained is that the tallow seals in moisture, but it doesn't necessarily moisturize. That's what like the professional skincare people say. So take it or leave it. That's how I look at tallow. If you try to rub tallow onto like dry, cracked skin, it just kind of sits on top and doesn't soak in. I am going to have this tallow rendering out here on my porch so that I don't have to smell it in my house. I can't abide the smell of rendering tallow. I don't know what it is. I did it one time when I was pregnant and now I can't do it anymore. So I put it out here on the porch. In a couple hours, I'll come out and I will put the stick blender in here, mash it all up, and then it should render pretty quickly after that. I'm gonna actually render this down probably 3 times with salt water. That just takes out all the impurities and makes so that it's nice and white and doesn't smell beefy.
Time for me to check on my project now. If you've been around for any amount of time, you'll know that I've been trying to work on my grilling skills since Sapphire sent us this grill. But today I'm trying something that I've never tried before, a brisket. And it looks pretty intimidating to me. What I've done before so far is something like chicken breast or steak, where you kind of just get the grill up to temp, you put the meat on, flip it over, and then take it back off. It's done real quick. This is something that's probably gonna take about all day, or hopefully not much. Hopefully not get too late. But I actually started last night by putting the dry rub on and putting it in the fridge, uncovered overnight. And then this morning I came out here while it was still dark and got the grill started. I was gonna get the brisket on earlier, but I ended up letting the grill get a little too hot. So I let it cool down for a little bit before I actually put the brisket on. So it's been on there now for at least a couple hours. So I'm just gonna check it now and see how it's doing. Oh wow, that looks nice. I might actually want to wrap this soon. I got some advice from some YouTube videos and then from my brother-in-law who's done this before. It's at the temp about me where I should wrap it. I'm not gonna give you a lot of details and advice and stuff on how to do this because I'm totally just learning. I will tell you that I do have a drip pan underneath it with some water and apple cider vinegar in it. That's to help some steam come up here so that it doesn't dry out too much. And then I also have it over indirect heat. While I'm out here, I'm gonna add some more wood chips. So one thing that's cool about this grill is I don't need to be able to actually get underneath the heat deflectors and everything to put wood chips in there to get some smoke going. I can just feed it through the front here. And I put a little bit of wood chips in this morning, but I want to add some more now.
You guys know me, I care so deeply about feeding my family wholesome and nourishing food, but I also believe in having a home that is as non-toxic as possible. Thank you so much to Birch Living for sponsoring today's video. Getting a really good, solid night's sleep is one of the most important things to stay healthy, especially in the wintertime when all the flu bugs are going around. I sleep so good on this mattress. That's one of the first things we noticed when we got this mattress a year ago, is that I started sleeping way deeper. I'm a very light sleeper, and I don't wake up nearly as often sleeping on this mattress. These mattresses are 100% fiberglass free. They have 0 polyurethane foams. Instead, they're made with natural materials like natural latex, organic cotton, and wool. This is the Birch Luxe Natural Mattress. Highly, highly recommend. It is so bougie. We also have the kids mattress, which is a different firmness on each side so that you can switch it out as your child grows. To order this mattress for yourself, just go to the link in the description box, which is birchliving.com/morethanfarmers. It'll get shipped straight to your door, super easy to set up. And if you use the code BirchPartner27, you'll get 27% off during their Black Friday sale.
Well, I went and asked for some advice and I found out that I should probably go ahead and wrap this brisket. So we're gonna do that. Had to set the camera down for a little bit and get some rocks to put on there. This stuff is trying to blow away. So a lot of people, I guess, use tallow on this paper when they're ready to wrap the brisket. Michelle is making tallow today, but we don't actually have any to use for this. So another thing that people do is apple cider vinegar and water. So I'm just gonna spray some of that on here. I guess it just makes the paper a little more pliable, work a little better to get it wrapped. What a dumb spray bottle. Smells good. This is a little scary, right? To carry it over the gravel. Here we go. Can't pull it towards me with these bricks on here.
Cody still has some stuff that he wants to get done outside. We didn't get everything done this morning that we wanted to, but we're gonna quick take a lunch break here and then we'll get back out there. We're just gonna have some leftover butternut squash soup from the other night. This is like a Panera Bread copycat. Very, very yummy.
To go along with this butternut squash soup, since it doesn't have a lot of protein in it, we're gonna have some beef sticks. We ran out of hamburger, which is sad, but we ran out, and so we got some from a friend that does grass-fed and finished beef. And when he brought it this morning, he also brought us this pack of beef sticks just to be nice. It's from Homestead Meats. They're close to Plain City. If you're looking for grass-fed beef, you should check them out. We'll put their info in the description. And of course, we have our regular video day Ollie-Pops.
We're on our way out to the garden, but I want to quickly do this first. I may or may not have forgotten about my tallow out here on the porch. I know this like looks kind of disgusting, but it makes a huge difference in how long this takes.
I've still got that stuff over there that I need to clean up. I need to roll up that chicken fence. But first, I'm gonna cut down the asparagus. This little DeWalt chainsaw right here has become my go-to for just about anything around here on the homestead that needs to be cut down, like the raspberries, the asparagus, even trimming some trees here and there, tree rows by the fence. It is so handy. I can use it with one hand. It doesn't need to have gas in it and have problems starting when it's cold. Can't get the chainsaw to start. The battery powered thing feels a little less manly sometimes, but it is so handy and so worth it. While I keep going with this asparagus, Michelle is going to tell you why we're cutting it down and maybe a little bit about the asparagus that we grow.
It finally got cold enough that the asparagus started to die back. The asparagus hasn't actually been like yielding asparagus for us for quite a long time now. It's mostly a spring crop. It does not like heat at all. It just goes to seed in the heat. I like to wait to cut it down until the tops get all brown. We have in the past tried just burning the whole patch off, but it was never dry and brittle enough to actually really take off and just go up in flame. This has just been easier for us. The reason that we cut it all down in the fall is because there's a lot of bugs that will overwinter in the foliage. So we like to just get that out of here and burn it, and it really keeps the asparagus beetle population down to the point that I barely have to worry about asparagus beetles at all. The varieties of asparagus that I grow are Purple Passion and Mary Washington. I love the Purple Passion. It bears like this fat, juicy stalk. The Mary Washington is also a great asparagus variety. I actually started it from seed, which was super fun. It definitely took longer, but it's kind of cool to just say, I started this asparagus patch from seed. If we do end up moving this winter like we're hoping to, I'm gonna miss this asparagus patch so much, to the point that I might even try to dig some of the crowns up and take them with us. We'll just have to see.
The beginning stages of our homesteading journey were pretty rough. I would wake up early in the morning, do my chores, eat my breakfast on my way to work. Then after a full day of physical labor, I'd leave work as soon as I could, rush home, do the evening chores, eat a quick supper, then work on whatever homestead projects I had going on until it was time for bed. And there was always a homestead project going on. We had dreams of turning our homestead into a farm business that would support our family. But in trying to get us there, I neglected my family. We're still picking up some of those pieces. It took a severe case of overwhelm and burnout for us to realize we had to do something different. And I guess that's how we became more than farmers. We realized life had to be about more than just what we were accomplishing on our homestead. And we realized we were gonna have to slow down. I think this was harder for me than it was for Michelle. My identity was wrapped up in what I was accomplishing, and I felt like I was responsible to make this farm business work. But there is no shame in stepping back from something you've worked hard for if you realize it's getting in the way of something more important. We've come to hold on to the truth of the idea that if we focus on the things that truly matter first, the other things will get taken care of. And it's amazing how it works. We still have to remind each other of that pretty often though. So, starting a homestead or keeping one going is a big deal no matter how you slice it, but take it one small step at a time and don't miss out on the important stuff in life along the way. I think that the brisket is ready to come out of the grill. I'm gonna wrap it in a little bit of tin foil and then a towel and put it in a cooler and then let it rest for a few hours. Ready, 1, 2, 3, go. This is so weird. It just feels weird to wrap it in a towel and put it in the cooler.
This tallow is rendered now, just the first render. I probably could have done this much faster if I would have remembered sooner and gone out with the stick blender sooner, but I didn't. and it doesn't really make a difference. So I'm just gonna strain all the gunk out of here. All the gunk has kind of like settled to the bottom. And then I'm gonna harden this tallow in the fridge, and all the tallow is gonna harden on top of the water. I'll just pour the water off, scrape off any impurities, and then I'm just gonna repeat this process a couple more times. The second and third rendering definitely go way faster because you're basically just melting it down again. I like to use a flour sack towel because it gets everything out. It gets all the gunk out very first try.
It is the moment of truth. There were a couple things that happened with this today that wasn't necessarily ideal. Had the grill too hot this morning, and so I got it in a little late. It got, I think, up to temp faster than maybe it should have. And then it's not rested quite as long as maybe some people would, but I'm guessing it's still gonna be good. Oh, look at that. Cuts pretty nice and easy. That doesn't look as juicy as some of them that I saw in a video. That tastes really good. That's like still all wet and juicy in there. All in all, it might not be perfect, but it tastes really, really good. Has a really good smoky flavor. And even this end here that's thinner, that's a little more dry. It's still not like a well done steak or something that's just annoying to chew. It's still really good. Along with this amazing brisket, we've got green beans that were canned from the garden, and then some sweet potato hash from the root cellar.
This brisket turned out absolutely insane. I heard one of the kiddos say that it's the best meat ever, and it honestly is. Cody did a fabulous job on this meat. I just love it so much when he enjoys grilling, because I really don't enjoy cooking. And so to have meat like this without me doing anything is so amazing. My grandpa was a butcher, and so when we would go to Kansas for the holidays, he would make smoked meat like this, and I looked forward to it all year long. And so to be able to have meat like this at home, like just throughout the week, that is like pure luxury.
Once the tallow hardened, Michelle pulled it out of the fridge, and you can see here the impurities left behind in the bowl. That water looks pretty nasty. The bottom of the chunk will usually have some impurities on it as well, so she scrapes that off, then back into the crock pot to render again. Now, she wouldn't need to do this for tallow just for cooking, but for soaps and stuff, she likes it to be extra pure. After it was rendered and cooled again, the water was pretty clear, but there were still some impurities left on the bottom of the chunk. She decided just to scrape it off and be done. She'll use this tallow then to make soaps in a future video. In the meantime, since we're coming right up on Thanksgiving, I bet you'd like to see how we make an entire Thanksgiving meal with ingredients we raised right here on our homestead. I'll put that video up on the screen right here for you to click on to watch next.
It's my entire asparagus patch.
I mean, if that's where your mind is.